This poem is about Blind Boone, and it's about the time that he was kidnapped by a guy who tried to, well, you'll see. It's called Blind Boone's Escape. Even a blind man might run away from folks that won't see things his way. That's what I told myself when I packed my bag and bailed out of the St. Louis School for the Blind. My whole town had pitched in for tuition, dime by dime, 'cause we'd been told that they'd teach me more piano. They did for a time. And I'd fallen hard in love with its ivory lessons. But then, listen. The new schoolmaster came to say that piano was to stay clear of black hands and our unlearned ways. I was banned from the music room and given straw to manufacture brooms with my other colored mates. But who was this fool to decide my fate? I fumbled my way out the school's back gate. I'd been swept out by their broom philosophy, straight into the streets of sweet St. Louis. Her alleys and gangways awaited my touch. I struck out toward the salt, sticky sounds of barrel house drama, toward the pimps and johns and cat house groan that seemed to run on syncopated piano and moan. I could smell the sin and taste the grown-up rum of laughter spilling under a setting sun. Damn, I was dumb. Could have been killed, but still, here I am. And I will remember that night under a sky that I knew must be stuffed with a million tunes I could almost hear from my grassy bed. I'll never forget. I leaned in to wear it like a bowler tipped hard across my head. That was the wrong poem. That was not a kidnapping poem. But this is, should I read it out? This is the kidnapping poem. This is Blind Boone's Rage. It's really happened. He really was kidnapped. Blind Boone's Rage. Can a blind man kill and walk away? Can he find the jugular and slide a blade through the dark, through the vein, and then escape? That's what I'd ask myself in the thick of those days after I'd run away from home to make my mark with a would-be manager. I'd trod his roads for weeks, but instead of money, he'd speak of sudden fees I owed, how my debts had grown and signed my folks into debt, that they'd find themselves sued into ruin if I didn't grind those piano keys night after night, while in the day I'd be confined to locked rooms. Nobody listened to a 10-year-old's plea for freedom. He'd tell them I was in his charge and a little slow. And soon enough, I began to know my mother's slavery, note by note, song by song. He took the one thing I truly owned and smothered it with hate till every finger I lifted for music bore the weight of shackles and chains. And so I started to wonder about making a blade, how to break a glass clumsily and smuggle secretly one long, slick shard, how to wait for the dead of night to cut him hard and dead. Yes, my friend, I'm sorry to say that I felt this the only way I was going to win myself back again. I'd gotten low enough to start planning the spill and the strike, to prepare myself, perhaps, for prison. So it was a damn lucky thing when my stepfather finally tracked me down in the midst of my labor, claimed me for kin in his iron clinch, and hauled me over his heaving shoulder, stomping through the saloon's battered door. I swear it now, and I swore it then. I'll never slave my music for no man again. I ain't bending over no piano like a plow on a sharecropper's piece. I ain't no beast bent to push ivory keys. I'll be free as I play, or I won't play at all. I'll just play the notes inside my skull, alone in the dark where they roam around loose. 'Cause playing like a slave, I just step myself straight into a hangman's noose.